Hi, my name is Carl Pearson, and I'm creating this video to explain why the time, or the hours in each day, of the nation's small business owners is a national asset and needs to be preserved as part of the effort needed to bring back the U.S. economy. I'm 83 years old, a practicing foreclosure defense attorney in the heart of New York, New York, which is the coronavirus capital of the U.S. and probably the world. I'm a high school dropout and also magna cum laude from my college, and I'm a graduate of Harvard Law School, and I've been a small business person for 74 years, believe it or not, starting at age 9 with my paper route in North Platte, Nebraska. Today is my 49th day of self-imposed quarantine or stay-at-home lockdown. The U.S., actually it's the 48th day, and the U.S. now has more than 1,130,000 confirmed cases and 66,000 deaths due to the coronavirus, and the economy is collapsing. There are already 50 to 60 million unemployed individuals, including the 30.3 million, which is actually 18.6% of the nation's labor force, who were allowed to make claims just during the past 6 weeks. This country is now rapidly losing its economic base, which is and has always been small business. The pandemic threat to small business is even more destructive because of a public policy to undermine small business and avoid any programs that are truly needed by small business to enable them to thrive. This policy, of course, has been set by the elected officials who need campaign contributions from the rich, that is, the owners and representatives of big business, to get reelected. In this video, I want to focus on the value of the time or working hours of the small business owner. Assuming 30 million small business owners and that they put in an average of 70 hours per week, or 3,500 hours per year, then we are dealing with 100 billion hours of time, which on the average produce profits before payment of overhead expenses of an assumed $50 per hour, or $5 trillion. To enable you to make comparisons, the national GDP, that is gross domestic product, was more than $21 trillion in 2019. Other important statistics: small businesses accounted for 45% of GDP in 2010, down from 50% in the late 1990s. 48% of all U.S. employees work for small businesses, down from 52% in the early 2000s. As any small business owner knows, the owner has to spend at least 50% of his or her time doing things that are needed to be done, but could have been done by someone trained in administering small businesses, even if such person has no idea how to sell real estate, install glass in automobiles, render medical or legal advice, or catch shrimp, for example. If an additional 35 hours of the owner's time could be spent doing the high-value work for the business, the annual total for small business would be $10 trillion, an increase of $5 trillion. And most of this would go directly to the bottom line as profits, because the overhead expenses were already covered by the first $5 trillion of gross profits. Saving the owner's time to devote to higher value work would easily wind up with 5 to 10 times the profitability of small businesses and provide high-paying jobs for the trained individuals who take over the administrative work of small business and do much to build a middle class, take business away from the monopolists, and save the national economy and the country. Just ask any small business person whether he or she winds up doing too much administrative work, and also ask why. The answers will probably be: 1. I can't find any person who knows how to do the varied amount of administrative work that I am forced to do myself. 2. I can't train anyone to do this because I don't have the time. 3. Even if I did train someone and expanded my business as a result, I would lose my business if the person left because I can't handle all that work myself, and there is no market of trained persons I can use to find an immediate replacement. Remember, if that person leaves, I would have to do his work, plus I would have to do the double work that I created for myself when I expanded because I had a trained person. I just can't do that. 4. This is why I wind up doing the administrative work myself, which prevents growth of my business and allows big business to take sales away from me. I went through this about 20 years ago. I hired a person from India who really knew how to do many of the things I needed to have done, and I expanded my law practice as a result. Things were going great until one day he came to work and said that his father in India was sick and needed him back in India to take over the business for him. He left a week or two later, and I was unable to handle his work, plus the double caseload that I was able to take on because of him. I almost lost my law practice as a result. Oh, I really understand why there is a need for a school or a training program to train high school seniors and adults in the 1,000 different things one has to know to run a small business, so that the owner is free to devote his or her time to the higher value work. That was the reason for opening the business in the first place. And incidentally, I don't care if they're a college grad or not. It just doesn't make any difference. I need the work done by someone who knows how to do it, whether they're college or not. The time of small business persons is a national asset to save our economy and needs to be protected as the nation protects its diminishing number of gold bars. Well, I've said what I plan to say, so I'll say so long until my next video.